Hello, and welcome to HueCity's very first commentary. I am Gabeski. I will be going over this commentary slash tutorial now. It's a low ELO around 1200s game. That's me. I'm playing as Malzahar, and I'm just gonna kind of give my insight, give my opinions, different ideas, thoughts on as to what went on. Keep in mind, I'm not in any way a god. I am not a great player. I am just a player that I feel has a decent knowledge of the game and understands some of the tactics, some of the mentalities, the builds, basically what goes on in a lot of people's minds in this ELO. And hopefully anyone who watches this, it'll be a learning experience for you and for me, because I'm not claiming to be great. I'm claiming to be someone else learning. I want to learn and I want to grow as a player, and hopefully anyone else with me can grow with me. Alright. Now that I got that out of the way, I'll just talk a little bit about what's going on right now in the very beginning. Team layout. Ooh, what's up with that? Team layout is Tryndamere, Malzahar, Vladimir, Jarvan, Amumu versus Jax, Singed, Warwick, Aurelia, and Twitch. We had a first pick Tryndamere. It was kind of a sketchy pick. We were not very excited about it, considering he grabbed heal, and honestly, first pick Tryndamere is never a very enthusiastic thing. It never makes anyone happy, to be fair. And I remember in the loadout when they first picked Jax, it was kind of an iffy thing, because Jax currently is not that hard to counter, but if he's a good Jax, if he builds well, he can be a force to be reckoned with. He can really burst hard and get some continuous damage on you. Aurelia was a scary pick. Aurelia's always been scary. I've played her since release, so I know most of the ins and outs of her. She's actually my main behind Malzahar. Malzahar's my AP, Aurelia's my AD, my tank. I go back and forth with my tanks, but so Aurelia was a scary pick when I saw her, and when the Twitch pick came up, that was also somewhat scary, because believe it or not, despite the nerf, Twitch can honestly destroy games if you let him. Especially in low ELO, where players can sometimes be cocky or unprepared for certain things to come across, and just an invisible champ in this game can can abuse mistakes that many people will make at this ELO or even in high ELO. Singed, everyone knows Singed, everyone knows Warwick. Warwick has always been scary, but honestly, in recent games, recent meta, he seems to have fallen slightly off the map in this ELO simply because he's such a slow jungler, and he has some of the lowest pre-6 ganking potential out of all the champs. And yeah, everyone knows Singed. Alright, let's talk about the mastery, summoner spells. I should have gone Flash Ignite in this game. I honestly, when I was picking, I already had my mastery set, and I, to be honest, forgot. I was like, oh yeah, Ghost Ignite, that's good for any offensive player. But honestly, on Malzahar, I usually like to carry the Flash, simply because your ult is so powerful, your whole combo is so powerful. Early game, as soon as you hit 6, especially if you're in a solo, you can almost guarantee net a kill, especially if you have Flash. Our Jarvan was jungling. Jarvan's a pretty strong jungler. I don't know how much you guys know about him, but I played with him a bit. He's a good jungler. He has great gank potential as well. We had a Mumu. It was I was actually playing with him. He's another member of HueCity, one of our other streamers, and he hasn't played a Mumu very much simply because he's very often banned. But I ended up picking a Mumu and trading with him for Malzahar in this game. He went Flash Ghost. Just pretty much a lot of you can run Flash Ghost on a lot of champs in this ELO, because it allows, or not this ELO, but in general most ELOs, simply because it allows you to be very mobile, allows you to escape almost any gank. I start with the mana crystal and some pots. I'm going mid, so I need a little bit of survivability, but I'm really going for the mana, because the mana crystal over the Doran's ring, because one, it builds into things. It allows you to get the regen. I don't like getting Doran's items on anyone other than maybe Nidalee. I get the Doran's ring on Nidalee, and it's very good for you early game. All right, let's get the replay started. All right, so I was heading off because our Jarvan was going to be start jungling it. He very often started at blue. This isn't as necessary in this ELO, but honestly, it should always be done. You always want to guard your jungler. Your jungler is one of your most important players, if not the most important player in the early and mid game, because he has the potential to literally win the game for you. If he gets interrupted, disrupted, doesn't jungle well, that can mean the game in many instances. If he doesn't level up quickly, he can't get the ganks. If he doesn't level up quickly in general, he could be underleveled and underfarmed, and that's never good. So in general, the jungler, yeah, he can go there if you want. Usually a lot of people will line up in this area here. It's very good because you can see anyone coming from this region, and then you'll sometimes have top solo stand here. You'll sometimes have top solo, not as often, but they'll just stay in that bush. And our Vladimir just kind of wanted to be in the lane. Now, if you look down here, I'll pause this real quick. If you look down here, he asked me to pull the golem. For anyone who doesn't know this, if like you're mid lane or if you're bottom lane and you're solo, I mean not solo, if you're ranged, you can hit the golem first, and when it travels around this area here, the jungler will get free hits on it because the golem aggroes you. The jungler will get free hits on it and will not take any damage, and that greatly improves his ability to jungle. He takes less damage, doesn't have to use pots, can do it quicker. It's in general just a great idea to do that if you have the ability to. And yeah, in chat, our Trinimir, once again, the sketchy pick, is talking about how he pulled his wrong runes. No, whatever. Alright, so we got most of our people guarding the jungler. No, it's not that big of a deal. Let's take a look at this. When I looked at this team, I was originally thinking, hey, we could probably take them in a level 1 fight, but you see that a lot less in this ELO. And I don't know, it's just not as common. But if we could have disrupted their Warwick or had a clairvoyance, it would have been a great opportunity for us to get in there, throw down some hurt on their jungler. And if you look, that's where I aggroed the golem, and see it starts to aggro. It comes back, starts to aggro him, and he gets a lot of free damage. Now, at the beginning of this replay, for actually the beginning of the game in general, I miss a lot of last hits, and this is something I cannot stress enough. Do not do what I did here. This was the first game I had played that day, to be fair, but honestly, you should never have an excuse for missing something like that. That minion should have been a last hit. This minion here should have been a last hit. Oh, I got that one, never mind. It's just, you should never have an excuse for missing last hits, other than, I don't know, lag. Some people get bad latency, and that sucks. And it's just, you should never accept not getting last hits. It's free money. It really is. Taking a look, I didn't really notice it at first, but the Twitch got dagger. I kind of realized he was attacking fast for level 1, but it didn't really register on my mind because he seemed really squishy. And honestly, as a Malzahar, you're thinking if they're squishy, that's going to be an easy lane. My leveling order for Malzahar, I tend to get the most damage out of E early on, and when I'm against squishy people, I'll level the Q as well. So I try to get a little bit of harass with the E and the Q every once in a while. Our top I really didn't get too much of that in there, but during the game I remember that was kind of a surprise. I wasn't really sure what was going on, but looking at it now, that didn't seem to be a very good trade. At least Jarvan didn't die and give him the double buff. That would have been very, very bad. Alright, back to the lane, just throwing down some harass. Normally you don't want to push, but as Malzahar, it's really not too big of a deal, and I had noticed that their Twitch was auto-attacking originally anyways. So right here what I did was it was not bad. It allowed the minion wave to get pushed to the middle of the wave where you always want to stay. This up here, not very good. You do not want to be in this situation. If you're up here, that allows their jungler to come in for free ganks. They got a ward, so it was smart. But in most situations, any jungler that has any pre-6 ganking potential, they see this. This is food. They are hungry for a gank, and they will come and get you. So please avoid that. Avoid that situation. Back in the lane, I was getting some harass on Twitch. Obviously didn't see it. He's not really that low. Let's take a look at the last hits. I was doing poorly, but much better than he was. I'm at 19, and he's at 13. 20 now for me. I'm just getting some more harass. And when you're harassing, you really want to try and balance the amount that you harass, because you can very often hit minions and push the lane. That was a horrible last hit. I missed that one there. And there's me throwing down some more hurt, keeping them away from the minion wave. And honestly, their Twitch played very passively, and it was smart of him. But I noticed Aurelia was in the jungle down here, so I didn't catch it immediately on the replay, but I remember seeing it in the game. She's level 2, very underfarmed. I'm not exactly sure what she was trying to pull, chasing that car. Might not have needed the ignite, but it secured the kill. And as the mid lane, I want that early kill. It gives me the gold advantage over Twitch. It allows me to get a big advantage. And now Jarvan can go back in the bush, heal back up, and do whatever. So he's doing some normal laning and such. Gonna check the lane, see what's going on. Not too much going on in general. Now, let's just pause real quick. I'm about level 5. If their Warwick is good, he will be able to keep up with definitely the duo lane, and he maybe be like, you know, a little like halfway to 3/4 of a level behind the solo lane, and this is just early on, of course. Now keep in mind our Jarvan early game. I don't know if I showed it. I think I showed him going up there. He stole their red early game, which means because he was able to do that, Warwick started at blue. Because if he started at minis like some Warwicks do, he would have been able to come around the corner and see Jarvan taking the red. That would have been catastrophic. But knowing that he started at blue, you have to know these timers. Not have to, but it's something to learn. It'll help you not get ganked by junglers. When a Warwick gets blue, he finishes it, has level 2. He gets wolves. That will take, if blue starts at minute 55, I'm just doing a rough estimate here because I don't know the actual numbers, it will usually